China, its physical geography. Your objectives: to identify China on a blank map, to discuss the terrain and climate of China's 5 regions, explain where most of China's population lies and why people live there and not in the other areas, explain how the borderlands have kept China isolated, discuss the benefits and drawbacks to China's isolation. Terms and people. Gobi Desert lies between China and Mongolia. The Tibetan Plateau is a high stony area north of the Himalayas. Manchuria is China's northern province between Siberia and Korea. The Three Gorges Dam is one of the world's largest. And the Yangtze is the southern Great Chinese River, and the Yellow is the northern one. All right, where is China? Well, China is the largest nation entirely in Asia. And where are China's borders? On the east, it's bordered by the Pacific Ocean. On the southwest and west, it is bordered by high mountains. On the north, wide steppes. So China can be divided into 5 physical zones. We have the Plateau of Tibet, the Tarim and Gobi Deserts, the Manchurian Plain, the North China Plain, and South China. Okay, let's start with the Tibetan Plateau. The Plateau of Tibet is one of the highest areas in the world. The Himalayan mountains lie on the southern border. Few people live here. Most people in Tibet live in small villages or they're nomadic, meaning they wander. One city is called Lhasa, the Forbidden City. For many years, no foreigner was allowed to enter the city. All the major rivers of South Asia, of East Asia, and of Southeast Asia begin in the Tibetan Plateau. Other Asian nations are anxious that China controls the source of all their water. Watch the beginning of these 2 films. You'll get an idea of what Tibet looks like and what it feels like to be there. All right, the Tarim and Gobi Deserts. Americans tend not to think of deserts as cold. Both the Tarim and the Gobi can be cold. From space, the Tarim Basin is a bowl of sand. Few people that live here live around the edges. The Gobi Desert can also be cold. All right, Manchuria. Manchuria is cold, but it's forested. The government has tried to get more Chinese people to move here, but they don't tend to like the climate up near Russia. Still, more Chinese people live here than in the deserts or on the Tibetan Plateau. Here's a population map. Describe China's population. Obviously, South and North China Plain are the most populated areas of China. The West is the least populated area of China. All right, the North China Plain. The North Plain is home to China's best farmland and most of its cultivated land. The North China Plain is also home to China's biggest cities, Beijing and Shanghai. South China. Many Americans think of China as a hot place, but in fact, only South China is really hot. South China is mountainous. Many of the rice paddies are built on terraces. South China is also home to many modern cities, such as Hong Kong. China has 2 major rivers, one on the North China Plain and one in South China. Each of these rivers form the backbone of an ancient Chinese kingdom. The Yangtze in the south flows through deep gorges. It's been dammed to make electricity with one of the world's largest dams called the Three Gorges Dam. Take a peek at one or both of these films. They're pretty interesting on the dam and its problems. Here's a summary of China and a talk about how its border regions have protected and isolated China. Make sure you watch this one for certain before you take the test. And here's China's geographic challenge, which sums up some of those issues as well. Now, which nation is China? This one's pretty obvious. There it is. Which map below correctly labels the physical geography of China? What's the importance of the Tibetan Plateau? Is it that it holds most of China's population? The rivers of Asia start here. It contains the most fertile land. Or is it that its ports are important for trade? I hope you didn't pick the last one. Which are the two most populated parts of China? What isolated China for much of its history? What was the main benefit of China's isolation? And what was the main drawback of China's isolation?